After the Chinese government failed to stop an illegal arms smuggling operation and lost all their men in that accident, they learned that those guns were smuggled to South Korea. They knew they can't stop them anymore. To save some face, they decided to send the rookie agent Dahi on a solo mission to collect enough evidence on this ring and stop them from achieving their goal. The thing is, this is not a one-person mission, and they know that, but they literally sent her to die with no help at all, except for a lot of money. Her boss thought this was unfair and decided to secretly help her. He asked one of his high-ranking friends in Korea, who works in the Korean intelligence agency, to give her whatever she needs to get that mission done. The official agreed and went to rent an office where they can work on their plan without notifying his government. The office he was going to rent belonged to Suhan, a freelance detective who can search for anything. He's a simple man. He sees money and he accepts any offer. But the problem is that he doesn't have many clients, almost none, and he's totally broke. So when the officer offered him a lot of money to rent the office, he gladly accepted and waited for the officer to bring the money. Unfortunately, the officer had some issues. While walking in the street, a baby was about to be hit by a car, so he jumped to save the situation and nailed it with his cool attitude until he was knocked down by a truck and taken to the hospital, where he remained in a coma, leaving Suhan waiting in despair for the money. He thought he lost the offer. The next day, Dahi didn't know that the agent was in a coma and went to the office as ordered by her boss. Once she entered and started talking about the mission, Suhan was so confused and was about to tell her she got the wrong man until he saw the amount of money she was offering. His eyes were sparkling. He thought she's an intelligence officer and told her that he's the man for the job, trying to get her to explain as much as possible to know what exactly he's supposed to do. Their first suspect was a businessman who goes to practice tango every day, so their plan was to go practice there. She will dance with the businessman, take his phone, and give it to Suhan, who will copy all the information on it, then return it before the dance ends. Suhan advised her to come in a tango dress to fit in. She listened to his advice and went to the tango class in a red dress that made everyone laugh, as they were all in their sweatbands except for the two of them. She wanted to kill Suhan for embarrassing her like that, but she continued with the plan to avoid ruining the mission. They kept practicing until the businessman arrived and danced with Dahi. It all went according to the plan, and Suhan got the phone. But the phone was too old, and the USB Suhan had was too advanced for it, so he returned it to Dahi quickly because it was ringing. Once the businessman went out to receive the call, he was killed. Dahi wanted to leave before the police arrives. However, Suhan advised to stay to avoid suspicions. As usual, his advice sent them straight to be the main suspects in the police station. As everyone thought, they were acting weird. Due to the lack of evidence, they were free to go. Dahi was extremely mad when she learned he hadn't copied the data on the phone, and that the mission was a complete failure. The next day, she went back to Suhan after hearing the news of a gang leader who was killed. She believed there was a war between gangs to control the guns smuggled from China, so she asked Suhan to find someone who could tell them everything about the gangsters. Of course, Suhan knew no one in this dark world, but fearing to lose the money, he took her to a fortune teller who can help them since he deals with many gangsters who ask him about their future and if they're going to die. They didn't get anything useful except for the name of one gang that might be behind all these killings happening, as there were rumors they were committing horrible acts every day. After hearing about the gang, Suhan thought this mission is too dangerous for him and feared for his life. Dahi started doubting that he's even an agent. However, since he's all she had, she took him by force to accompany her to the next gang. And there, while they were interrogating the leader, some other gangsters broke in and killed everyone, including the leader. Seeing this, Suhan ran away immediately, leaving Dahi alone to find a clue and fight for her life. She was able to escape safely with the leader's phone. Surely she blamed Suhan for abandoning her. However, he refused to continue the mission until she offered him another $10,000 if they succeed. He agreed without hesitation and excitedly took her to see a hacker friend of his. He opened the phone and gave them an address based on a number he found in the latest calls. They went to that address only to find another dead body of the person who could lead them to anything. However, after searching his phone, they found the VIB CEO's number and that there will be an event hosted in his honor for orphans who were adopted. They kept planning and decided to go to that event as adopted siblings. Dahi warned Suhan to stop embarrassing her and to dress elegantly. On the event day, he came with lots of confidence, wearing a handmade suit, claiming it was made by an Italian expert. Dahi was so embarrassed when she saw that his suit's pattern was exactly the same as the one on the table. She was speechless until they both saw the CEO they were waiting for and started the plan. They went to him and introduced themselves. They did all of that so that Dahi can put a recorder to listen to their plan. While Suhan was busy eating all kinds of food, Dahi was listening to the CEO's conversation with the gangster. She learned about their plan and that they will carry out a weapon exchange that very night. It was all good until one of the CEO's men recognized Suhan and Dahi, as he was the hitman sent to kill the gang leader before, and reported that to the CEO. Once Dahi knew they were exposed, they were about to escape, but the CEO's men came for them first. They fought hard with them, but eventually had to surrender under gun threat. Suhan tried to tell lies about being there for different reasons, but of course, no one believed him. The CEO told him that he will let both of them go if he did one favor for him. Then, Suhan was taken by the CEO's men and was ordered to kill two police officers in the street. That's because they want to spread terror in the country. And then instead of shooting the police, he shot all the men and ran away using the car. Once he got back to the hotel to save Dahi, he found no one. At that moment, the police arrived and arrested him. That's because they found him and Dahi on every security camera of all the murders that had been happening to the gangsters. He tried to convince them that Dahi was kidnapped, but they thought he was lying to cover for her. They even made him call her, and she said she was fine, of course under threat, proving his lies even more. Things got more complicated when an intelligence officer came to meet him in person. It turned out Suhan was an agent in the Korean intelligence agency and was in a special unit designed for impossible missions. However, in his last mission, he was ordered to kill his friend, as he was captured by the enemy. He disobeyed the orders and wanted to save his friend, but he lost him that day, as well as losing his job forever. The intelligence officer knew about Suhan helping Dahi all that time, and revealed to him that Dahi is actually a Chinese agent, not Korean as he thought, and told him that even if he's doing the right thing, they would not help a Chinese agent, leaving Suhan in the police's hand to be jailed for his crimes. Suhan was extremely mad that they let the guns spread through Korea without doing anything, so he schemed a plan and stole a gun, escaping to save Dahi himself. She left him a code when he called her at the station. He solved it and went to the location where she was. Finally, he found her and freed her, but they were met with one of the CEO's men. Suhan fought him hard until he killed him. At that time, the gangster came to finish the weapon exchange deal with the CEO, and they all heard the fight, so they went searching for them. Both Suhan and Dahi were fighting for their lives, since no one else was on their side, not even the police. They killed and injured everyone until only the CEO was left. After losing all his men, he had nowhere to escape and was arrested with the gangster and the ones who remained alive to suffer in prison. Suhan was also imprisoned for breaking so many rules. The intelligence officer offered him to clear his name if he agreed to work for them again, because the Korean and Chinese governments were glad for the cooperation between them and wanted to go for another mission. At first, Suhan refused to work for these hypocrites until he was offered lots of money, and he was so in. He and Dahi accepted the mission, and this time it was legally approved. As usual, Dahi listened to Suhan's advice, and both were looking so weird, with their outfits that made everyone look at them, and they kept fighting over and over again.